welcome. Welcome. Welcome to another tarot monologue. Sorry, pretty late up in here. Welcome to the 8-8 activation station. 8-8 activation station. I'm also a life path number 8. Welcome. There's an opening in the sky. Stop. Don't be so silly. Look beyond the blockage of your sight unable to see. And be open to visualize, create, make that which is intangible, tangible, here now, knowing that knowledge is powerful indeed. And to activate further my own ability to proceed, to progress, to manifest all that I do deserve. Haven't you heard? Energy, reality, dimension, twilight zone type effect. Come here, darling. Jump into the rabbit hole. Tarot monologue after dark is another freestyle exhibit of however it's going to be gifted, the uplifted. The manna is here for you to receive. And those well on their journey will receive all that is here to be received in the fashion and design that is inspired by the divine. What is the divine? You are divine. Blasphemy, no, it is not. For you are divine. And the further you connect, and the further you expand your connection, your evolution, that which is your constitution, that even that too must be released, because evolution is infinity as we speak, where there's constant growth. So there's nothing that we really do know when evolution is the seed, the breed, awakening in you. That is getting to know you. You're getting to know all about you. Activated to this curiosity. And usually through a trigger. You know what I mean? It's usually a love-driven madness spree all over the human's decree. He's not that into me. She's da-da-da-da. Or whichever kind of conditioning does them best. And either way, it activates in them the curiosity to find and filter and finer tune more self-loving awareness and care. That's what brings you here. If you're here, you care about your welfare, right? Lion's Gate. Don't get caught up in the hype. Everything is man-made to be conditioned into a reality. Astrology is no different than a religion. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of reference, a point of reference. Please see my other videos here, where I talk about a very important point about not getting stuck in that which you feel, think, or know to be, or think to know to be of now. Because your evolution is constant. It's growth. It's like that thing, never say never sort of thing, to release that which you believe. What is belief? We're free, or are we not? Ah, yeah, eat that too. But here we are, right? 888. These numbers signify certain kind of mathematical vibration, equation, and sensation, because everything is part of this cosmic evolution. We are connected. So, although individuals you may be unique, you are definitely, I would agree, especially if you came here to see me, unique, be you. You know what I mean? And so, I want to pause for a minute, give myself time to recalibrate my mind, because so much passes through. I don't need to front for you. So I'm gonna pause this for a moment, because so much is filtering through my system, which is very important. Which I feel like this is why it's even coming up at this moment in time, due to the topic in mind, even though 888 and all this portal vortex energy, synergy, harmony, opportunity to manifest even more so and alchemize in an alignment with you, right? All these things that we do. Right? I wrote some notes down too. But like, it is believed, whether you believe in this or not, everything here is a parable. It is here for you to filter through your system for your own evolutionary benefit. And in your own evolutionary, because it's an evolutionary benefit, and it's a human benefit or a selfish benefit or a toxic benefit. I didn't say anything in that kind of degree. It's a evolution, right? That is a constitution and power and empowerment all of on its own. It is what it is. We get stuck up on shit when factors come in, science comes in, math comes in, and it does its shit. It serves its purpose. It wins the argument for the sake of presentation, computation, um, delivery, right? But humans being all emotional in every kind of degree, irrational, you know what I mean? And thinking and operating and doing, because reactive be our conditioned environment to see and be responsive to everything and not think about our conditioning or our positioning, and then to just be that dead fish swimming with the flow. Well, you know, but we're not gonna do that up in here, especially if you're up in here, because that's not the kind of shit we're bringing up in here. But it's being mentioned here to make shit clear, because we transmute shit here, because it's a transformation chamber. You hear, you see, and you receive the ether fucking mana. You know what I mean? But this lion's gate, right, opens in the sky. Astrologers consider this, right, a spiritual an opportunity of a time for a day of manifestations divine, right? And here we are with this inner layering of, are you in alignment with that which you desire, seek, want, do? Because if this be the truth, whether it be folklore or, oh my God, that's not true, or all this kind of things too, there are certain things, although everything is human conditioning and we don't know shit from shit except for what we are taught at that, and you can't argue that. Your information comes from source. Who's your source? Okay, obey your source. That which environment, um societal condition you come from and all this kind of shit. you've been spoon-fed that which you think you know and believe to be, and everything within you has sparked from this industry that has allowed you to then infuse that with the being, the unique thing, being creature that you are, right? This beautiful shooting star, shooting, because you're always shooting, right? It's like the archer, right? Always lean back, lean back, right? Lean back. But here we go. It's like the scorpion under attack, right? Because 8B about that kind of vibration too. If we go into the leveling of astrology too, right? It's scorpionic layers, right? It's scorpionic. Scorpio is the 8th sign of the zodiac, right? And Scorpio is all about transformation energy, right? Transmutation energy, passion energy, creativity energy, expression, expressive, expressive, right? All things circulating around death, rebirth, right? Truth, quest, vision. Let's get to the bottom of this thing, right? Power. Tell me a Scorpio that don't love power. I tell you, let me see the chart. Might be some other dominating factors, although this be hoopla too, because this is all man-made too. As much as I can point a reference to, that was the video that I was talking about that I did previously to this one, talking about points of references, and the key point note that I made in that video that I'm not going to be able to make now because the human is here and now articulating somehow, and I'll just gonna channel through and get back into the flow of things too, and just she don't remember shit. But either way, right? So either way, whether like life be great, right? Because it's a choice we make. Perception be personal, because you're the one that got to deal with that perception, right? So a lot of the time, people get into that mental, emotional stuff because it's intangible, right? And it's interesting too because 8, right, the vibration, the energy, and the frequency is all about this intermingling, this infusing, this intersection of spiritual and physical and material. The infusion of that, the infinity of that, the flow of that, the creation of that, the achievement of that, the goal of that, the intersection of what is spiritual and physical, and the dimensions into that, and the infusion of the alchemy that is required, the thought, right? So 8, right? Like for people that are life path number 8, if you're life path number 8, let me know too. That's me. I'm life path number 8, right? But life path number 8 are thought, right? To be here to master, right? To master the integration of spirit into matter, right? It's the infusion of the energy to make that which is intangible, tangible here, right? So it's like living symbolically, metaphorically, parably, right? Like a Bible says it's a parable, and people have wars over parable, right? What is a parable? The opportunity for you to receive a very deep thought, or like concept of information or ideology or concept of something in a creative form expressed to you to convey something that is motherfucking true and deep, and it just comes out like poetry, and that's just the creation of we are artists. I have met so many, like, granted, we are all different elements and we gravitate towards many different things, and many people are like, oh, I'm not artsy, I cannot draw, because they're conditioned to just look at art in just one type of dimension. But art is multi-dimensional. As we are multi-dimensional, there are so many dimensions to you that is unseen, unheard, lost, discovered, recovered, seeking, applying, like aligning, getting to know. I joke all the time because humor be my life, right? That's how I make a lot of my kind of alignments, right? But that's the alchemy of me with my um, water element that's volcanic. I'm now tapping even more so better into my air element in my chart because we all have this. Like, so if you're gonna go off of astrology, then you have to understand that there's nothing that we can't avoid in having contact with. So discover your relationship with a planet, with a position, with a sign in your particular individual chart that's unique to you and its position and all this kind of stuff, because since this is human conditioning and the reason why so many people associate and resonate and relate with that which they receive, right, is because of the resonance of the human conditioning. So the astrology that was made for your human conditioning, of course, it relates to you. So this was the argument too when I was young too, and I used to compute, right? So I'm an 80s baby, early 80s baby, and so I was doing my birth chart hands. I'm a hand. So like I spoke about this briefly in like another story kind of thing of when I didn't know at the time if this is my ignorance, this is my I was young. I was not even 10, okay? But I had this whole debate because I came across two pieces of information, a mathematical concept of figuring out your astrology birth chart. And so I did both. And I got pretty much similar results, but different placements for certain planets and stuff like that. Like for instance, my sun sign and my moon sign and my rising were different, but they were neighboring. And so at this early age in my youth, I then started to compute. I'm like, okay, because of my conditioning, I felt like I had to choose one over the other instead of the infusion of it. And so then I went down the list of every sign, part, and resonance, the relatability, the one that I wanted to have or I perceived myself to have, and what I was like against or whatever. I had a strong aversion for the Vedic side of the astrology just due to the not with everything else. I agreed with a lot of the other stuff. The sun sign I had an argument with, which was Scorpio. At that time, I must have had an issue with Scorpio, right? And my own karmic evolution. And everything that was under explaining Sagittarius, fun, jovial, goofy, like, playful and all that. At that time, especially in my youth, I'm still goofy. But that's like that's private. That's privy. You get that side of me and the like, my myself, like, up close and personal, we know each other, and it's like that, and it's not like that for that. Right? I'm energy sensitive, right? And mindful, right? So, anywho, right? What was I saying? So seriously, what was I saying? My brain, right? So yeah, I had this argument with myself, and so at this early age in my life, because I felt like I had to choose one over the other, I sided with Western astrology, and I said I'm a Sagittarius, right? I said I'm a Sagittarius, and all this kind of stuff. Now, in my current, 40 plus years of life, right? I'm in a different stage of even understanding just beliefs and positions and how we reference certain kind of things. Like I hope as much as I can reference and co-reference and look at astrology and all this kind of stuff and find my passion with it because I like it. I don't care. Like if it's conditioned into me and it's all man-made and it's all phony baloney, it has been conditioned since the reality to resonate with that which it was conditioned to do, right? So it did its job, right? Sort of like it was resonated. But the fascination with that is if you're not into astrology and then you tap into astrology and you're like, oh my god, that's so cool, and then you give so much oomph to astrology. Don't forget, astrology is not above you. It's some man-made component of science, of math, of another curious, beautiful mind, learning or wanting to compute or articulate certain kind of information or find a creative, artistic outlet of something. I do that as a writer. I come up with so much shit, worlds, so many different kind of worlds in my different styles of writing. Even in a list is a world. Right? And so this oh, okay, and I look down and I see courageousness. So we'll look into this, right? And like, right, so this is the evolution of us in the present, our courageousness, right? Which is great for like this lion gate, like portal energy. So it is believed, whatever your belief systems are or not, and whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's sewn into the etheric belief systems of our energetic sphere. So the energy is here. So whether you choose to acknowledge it or not, the energy has been ignited, sparked, over spans of generations of time, that has ignited its fire in its existence, in its creation, and so therefore it exists. And what we know about energy and something, and when it's created, it can never be fucking destroyed. It can only be continued in some kind of way. And so it's growth, it's infinite evolution and change and all that is going to develop in its own kind of way, dependent on whatever it is. I don't want to make this all about that kind of stuff. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to lose a lot of you with spiritual technology. I'm looking down at this, okay, but too, we'll read into these kind of parts too and see what they mean. And this present day, being present right now, today, right? Which is, what's today's date? 8/8. Well, how are you? Welcome to the 8/8 vortex, right? Where the sun is believed to be in Leo, as it is spoken, right? And the stars Sirius and Orion belt and Earth all are in this like trine of magnificent energy and synergy, operating together harmoniously at this time in their position and their line. And it just makes the energies so cooperative at this time, because these planets that are integrating, infused, and harmonizing and energetically, magnetically influencing the environment, because if this is our belief system, these planets in our system and all this kind of stuff, or astrology and all this kind of stuff, energy and belief systems go a long ancient way. So even no matter your age, and no matter what position you play, and whatever stance you choose to have, understand that whatever you're choosing to have a stance on has existed before you're now existing. And therefore, its energy vortex is far greater than that of your mind that is easily distracted or consumed every single time. Right? These are the gods of life that we speak, the energies that just know its position, know its role, know its purpose, serve its purpose, does its job without argument, without cause. That's why it works. Like, why does a tornado work? Because a tornado won't ask you for fucking permission to be a tornado. A wave don't say, excuse me, I'm gonna be a wave here in the fucking ocean. It just fucking is. And you have to come to terms with the wave. You have to come to terms with the tornado. You have to adapt to that environment, that which is beyond your control. So you got wars happening now with positions and stances that people are positioning themselves on to just be in war, because the conditioning of that societal upbringing of war tactics, of disharmonizing this unification of the system, is the most easiest tactic to do to sleeper people too, who think they woke and spoke and all this kind of stuff, but want to fight you to the death. Roar! Right? So here we have influencing our realm. This is like an opportunity to take a stand, since you do so anyway. So if you're understanding the demographic of how your conditioning has your behavioral pattern having you behave, but conscious be your savior. It's an activator, elevating, activating energy that is beneficial to helping Earth and its people. Never mind the sheeple. I'm realizing this now. With those that I remembered or felt isolated or different from growing up, right? Black sheep kind of energy, or just weirdo, or just weird. Like my headspace and mind space as those levelings of activating the shit that I was going through, the trauma too, that activated me. And I had a relationship with spiritual activity because curious be the way of children, huh? You gotta deal with this drama in your life, or you wanna go check out what that ghost over there gotta say. Okay, I'm going over there. Ghostbusters! Chicken Little, but still. We're gonna go investigate that instead of having to listen to that over there. Right? Oh, voices? Which voice would I prefer to hear? The one here in this perceived 3D reality that is fighting right now? Or can I go to where I see the slimy green orb thing over there calling to me, distracting me, and putting me in an angelic realm kind of place to get me lost in my imagination so that I can erase the trauma shit that was trying to be put in my face? Oh shit, kids do this? Hallelujah. Some don't make it though, the majority. But those whom self-imposed and did what was due, quiet too. You don't need to boast. And doesn't mean perfect was your stream. Life, I had a dream. We all do. We all do. And I hope that you achieve your dreams. But I hope you know what they are. Most people don't even know how to explain or speak that which they desire fully. Like, okay, if the perfectness of life could be gifted to you at this moment in time, tell me what it is. Say what it is. Like, oh, you're being given that. What is it that's gonna make everything perfect? Careful now. 8-8 portal, alignment 2. So you have this activating, right? This cooperative component energy, which is universal, which is odd. It's auspicious, yeah, granted, right? But it's opportunistic if you choose to use it in that opportunistic kind of way to benefit you in every kind of way, because knowledge be the way. You can know a lot of shit, but you can do nothing about it. So what's the purpose of knowledge if you don't activate the position of knowledge that you are now in, filled with, if you don't act upon that which you know and still go behavioral pattern seeds that you sow and don't have that courageousness, right? I want to read that. Hi. Right? So let's tap into to our inner Leo energy, right? With this 8-8 portal that's great, helping you to further manifest all that you desire to inspire, and you meeting me here to help align you with the authentic truth in with clarity too, so that you don't go and self-sabotage to this opportunity of time, of energy to work with you harmoniously, whether you believe in this kind of folklore, parable, or point of reference that you can participate with or not. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Do what you want, believe as you will, activate as you want. But if miserable, bitter, and nasty be your wave, trust me, I don't want any part of your space. I'm happy in my way. Okay. Okay. Fudge out of here. Giggle be my spree. Every day I do decree, and I know that I have been grieving, and I've been sharing that at this time too. Look, I just went from high to low, and I can go Pisces moon in that kind of way, but Aquarius moon too. And so the infusion of that do, which brings me back to the number 8, life path number 8. Whom come here? If you are life path number 8, you are that master magician, alchemist, infusing that which is spiritual, making that which is intangible tangible here matter. You make it matter. You bring it into form. You make it be understood to others. You find the articulation. You are the articulation. You are the vibration. You are the energy, vibration, frequency. So that's why we can get caught up too in that victim mentality, because sensitive be your energy stream. And so you can feel every attack, you can know every attack, you can see every kind of feel, but you would also feel the opposite for real. So it's a matter of point of reference. Which path do you choose or want to take, right? It's that spiritual technology, right? In your present space. How am I going to utilize? How am I going to utilize the knowledge that I now have that is powerful for me? How can I activate with wisdom that which is going to be all that I need to be, to breathe, to be the seed that I need and I know and I am? Justice, right? Take a stand. Let us be courageous, man, in our present space now, right? Because we're going to tap into our inner Leo. How? Because we can. If not you, then who? And if not now, then when, right? So Leos are notorious too for their love, their generosity, their charm, their leadership, their creativity, right? Their fiery wisdom, their dedication to that which they state or the stance that they make and the cause that they bake. They're in it, right? They're supportive characters in many people's lives that they love, even when betrayed or looked away or not treated in a way that is of deservingness for you, right? So either way, 8 in astrology is Scorpio territory as well, right? So you got that Scorpio, Leo, right? Working, infusion, right? This energy, frequency, vibration, because whether you choose to acknowledge one over the other or one over not or not anything at all, these energies of knowledge, information, mysteries, life mysteries, and beliefs and different things all exist, whether you want to take it in or not. So as an alchemist, right, I'm my own chemist here. Nobody's going to be putting in my liquefied anymore in this life. I'm responsible for my own alchemize, my alignment, because conscious be the weight. And so the only person responsible for how I'm going to act, be, and do is me. Even if someone come out of left field and want to try to mess with me or trigger me or whatever the case may be, conscious be the wave. And now as you continuously activate, you can't be on the same every pop-up sensation as time progresses, because then what lessons have you learned? What growth has been made if every single time then you continuously will be activated to respond that to which is being thrown your way, right? In a defensive stand or in an aggressive stand and stuff like that, right? So I've been having this like war with these freaking what are they called? Those fly lanterns, that they're like invasive pest of a species of, it's not even a spider. Oh, what is it freaking called? I know the name and I say it all the time and I just can't because these things drive me fucking crazy. I swear they are smart. Are they even real? Talk about conspiracy theories for real. Like, are those cameras or something? Let me see. See, that's PTSD, overly thinking, activating, and then making things suspicious or like a conspiracy kind of theory. And I'm not saying it's not far fetched from being a reality of something that could possibly take place in some dimension, reality, or space and time, whether it's this present space and time or not, or whatever. All I'm saying is those molecules are smart. They are aggressive, okay? And I have had a guilty conscience now going to war with them because I be killing them because they be fucking with me. They fuck with me, and they say that they're like to kill them on site and all this kind of stuff. And when that first started happening, this was like 2 years ago or something like that, when spotted lanternfly, whatever, and they came from somewhere. I don't want to say the wrong place, and they're like, "How dare you insult my country?" It came from somewhere that was not here, and now they have multiplied, quadruplified, and they're like everywhere, and they're like in yeah, they're in the state, right? And whatever. So, when I first started seeing the signs about the thing, if you see this, kill it. I was like, no, I defended it. I refused. I was like, I'm not killing it, and I didn't. I wish I did back then because they were so little, less at that time, and it could have eliminated maybe the massive growth that you can see in different areas and stuff like that you go. So they target me, I promise you. Like, these mofos are smart and they do things, they think, and they taunt me, and they are, so that's why, like, and I don't do bugs, as I know that, and people are surprised about that too. They're like, oh my god, I saw you and like you love animals. Okay, I said I love animals and I'm tolerable of insects and stuff like that. But that don't mean I want anything like that. People call me and stuff like that. And then because they're saying, but they don't harm you. So if you see them and stuff like that, they don't, supposedly they don't bite humans, but they fuck with you. No, they're not afraid, and they going in to die. Like, they will, like, even in the midst of spraying them with some poison shit, they're jumping at you. So I'm like, what? Screaming. Oh, I can't. Like, they, like, oh my god, I can't. But anyways, yeah. And I've been going to war with my peace because they're a disturbance for me. And I'm not to be disturbed. So I have been really going through the evolution of making peace with these bugs. Like, because I don't want to be angry at them either. Like, they deserve to be alive if they're living, if they're here, if they're a real thing. Like, who am I to say you're a pest? Who am I to say? But they are aggressive and they are like, and so now I'm like trying not to kill them, and now I'm like speaking to them like, I will kill you, so don't play with me. And so we've been just living harmoniously a little bit. But like the other day, anyways, doesn't mean I'm not quick to swat. But I'm quick to scream and run too. I scream and run away from them because, and they're pretty, and they have different nymph stages. So I've seen all the stages, and the ones when they're black and white in the nymph stage or red and white in the nymph stage, I don't like that. They look like fucking like spider thingy midgiggies, but like ladybugs or beetles. I can't. We're not talking about this. We're done with this conversation. You heard? Mm-hmm. We're done. This is what happens. And then I start, and before coming in, I make sure, because they're so late and they're sneaky mofos. They will try to get inside to taunt you more, and so they can go on you and you don't even feel it. I feel it. So I even made a killer spray and it kills them, as in my research. And so yeah, so they backed off. And that killer spray is right by every door. Like, where are you? Come here, because I got you. But I didn't know that I was gonna talk about that. But anyways, but yeah, yeah, like, who am I? I'm not a tyrant. I don't want to be a tyrant. I'm not here to wipe out something that is kind of beautiful. They are too, but they're mofos. They look like on guard, like, and I feel like they liked me in the beginning part, or I feel like they kind of do, or like they're telling me like, wake up, like I'm supposed to learn something from this, like that species and things like that. And I was reading about them, and I'm gonna do more, like, I'm trying to be their friend a little bit, like see what's up, like what's the problem, like, and shit like that. Because I feed all the animals, right? So when I go outside, even like certain insects, like even the butterflies start flapping and coming out, they're happy like that I'm coming outside. Like everybody gets happy, and you'll hear them and they'll start singing and stuff. So them two started flocking to me when they started getting more, and I'm like, no, don't come to me. I don't like you. So I went to immediate war with them. I'm like, no, I'm not feeding you, but they don't eat what I give the animals, so it's not me. They eat like the plants, and that's part of why they say kill them, because they kill certain plants or trees, or they poison. I don't know, but again, I had plants back there, and I thought they died, but everything looks like it's flourishing. So is it truth? Do they kill anything? Do we always have to believe what we think we believe or receive? Like, do we check our facts? Like, I'm not saying anything, and I'm not saying, oh my gosh, but like, the plants out there are not dead. Neither is the tree, and they are always on these things. So I don't know, yeah. Anyways, they are pretty, but they're not part of the spider family, I believe. Or I don't want to talk about them anymore. Never mind. Anyway, let's go back. Okay. Let's go back to courageousness. Right? This leveling of courageousness. Thank you for meeting me here in this space. I hope that you find residence here, and that you take residence here, and that you come back anytime you hear. There's loads of mana here dating back to 2016. And part of my journey is I'm not allowed to delete or edit, or anyways, I don't edit. I don't dissolve. That's me, baby. You like it? So, we're tapping into our inner Leo. That's our confidence too, and just in our charismatic natures and charm, and and being present in our now space, no matter what's going on around us, right? So, okay, courage. A symbol for the. If I say it wrong, I say it wrong. I say it the way that I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it the way that I read it. If you say it, it's this. That's how you say it. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. If you can't be kind, please keep it in your mind. Okay. A symbol for the Lyran Royal Lyran 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 Lyran. I don't like that. Lyran sounds like Iran. Lyran. Lyran. There's no I. Lyran. That's how I'm going to say it. A symbol for the Liran royal family is the lion. Lions are often equated with courage. Lionsgate portal 8-8 aims to intensify your current now experience with this current alignment frequency that is advantageous to your currency. You know what I mean? Right? So one of the most admirable qualities of Lyrian is their immense courage in the face of adversity. The human race shares this quality as part of our Lyrian heritage. They're Lyrian, so I guess that's the natural way that I say it, Lyrian. Come to that, okay? Whether it's right or wrong or whatever the case may be, that's how I say it. You know what I mean? If you want to say it yourself, say it yourself, right? So there's great courage and the human race shares this quality as part of our Lyrian heritage. There's great courage in the human heart, and this card asks you to tap into that courage. Yay! What a perfect opportunistic time to receive this message too here at this present now time of this 8-8 activation portal, right? That we're here to be conscious about our creations and our activations, right? And be a part of our own transformations, our own creations, our own manifestations, our own leadership abilities to guide and direct and lead the path for ourselves, the same way that we can be an influence to that if we are to even just one other person, even if it's to our children, even if it's to a child or something like that. And like in life, there's always somebody that's looking at what you're doing, right? And influenced by it. And granted, you should never live for that, for others in that kind of degree, right? But your ability to set yourself free, to allow yourself to be courageous in this now space, no matter what has happened space, right? And use this infinite trine or infinite 8. 8 is great, right? This infinite 8 to further provide you with the energies that are influencing you around this stratosphere, this atmosphere, this universal layering of energy that exists in this vortex, this portal reality, multi-dimensional reality, although we're in a specific kind of portal space, vortex space that we're all occupying, we still each are multi-dimensional and have our dimensions. Now, hopping outside of that portal into a different kind of vortex or world or something like that is interesting. And belief systems will play a huge part into your development in that. But as of right now, the energy, we'll talk about that after I finish the part. Right? So there's great courage in the human heart, and this could ask you to tap into that courage, which goes as far back as your Lyrian forefathers, and apply that strength in the areas of your life where you need it. If you can tap into it, act as if you can. In doing so, your ancient Lyrian memory will reawaken to give you the strength that you need, right? Right? So now we move into the present. Now we, why my nose is itching all the time? Is your nose itching? Oh, this is itching. And it's just, right? So, right? So, now we move into the present time stream, which accesses energy from a more mature era of Lyrian civilization that is somewhat equal to the human evolutionary timeline on Earth now in the present day. Mature doesn't mean evolved. No, shit's wrong, right? However, the Lyrians in this time stream still had their challenges much like we do now on Earth, right? The theme of this card is particularly poignant because it is the quality that humans inherited from their Lyrian forefathers, courage. In addition to what is said in the card text, it is important to learn to differentiate between courage and foolhardiness. Courage doesn't mean pushing against all obstacles to create what you want. True courage isn't ego-based. Often, the biggest act of courage is to let go. While this card may be emphasizing your inner strength, it could also be asking you to learn what real courage is and to live from there, right? Authentic to yourself. Be free to be all you need to be. You don't need to ask anyone permission to be the wave, to be the tornado, to be the star, to be you. You don't need to ask anybody to be you. Write that down, okay? Give me a second. Lefty's in the house. No. We are ambidextrous up in here because we had to learn from a right-handed environment. So although we lefties, we still do right-handed things, making, like, you know, I do a lot of weird things. I use both of my hands effectively and efficiently. I can write with my right hand too, but it's my left, you know? So, I can write with my feet too. Wait, what was I saying? You don't need to ask anyone permission to be here. You don't need to ask. You don't need to ask. And anybody trying to make you feel bad about what it is that you are and who you are, then maybe this is the moment of self-reflection, introspection, evolutionary perspective to have, take a step back, detach from the codependency of that which you think you must hold on to now check your point of reference to see how that resonates with you and how you want to proceed forward. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of construct. You are the architect, the designer, right? So the theme of this card is particularly poignant because it is the quality that humans inherited from the Lyrian forefathers, courage. And in addition to what is said in this card text, it is important to learn to differentiate between courage and foolhardiness. Courage doesn't mean pushing against all obstacles to create what you want. True courage isn't ego-based. Often the biggest act of courage is to let go. While this card may be emphasizing your inner strength, it could also be asking you to learn what real courage is and to live from there. It often takes courage to shift the prevailing belief systems of a person and the habitual patterns of a society. This card may also be referring to not only your personal relationship with courage, but also what is needed for humans as a species in order to shift into a new paradigm. It cannot be done without courage, and your personal courage affects the whole. Look at the surrounding cards in your reading as well as your life circumstances to understand how this card applies to you and your current situation, right? Spiritual technology, right? Here we go. The ancient vegan mystics became quite adept at creating spiritual technology. This refers to using tools such as crystals, wands, geometry, and so on. To enhance spiritual experiences or perform a function, such as cleaning the energy in a home or healing a person, originally these tools were meant to be an enhancement of spiritual practices, but over time the vegans became dependent. What were we just talking about? Checking our codependencies. Oh, and detaching from it, right? So, but over time the vegans became dependent on them and forgot that the power was not in the object. This was a profound lesson for them. Examine how you use spiritual tools now. Do you depend on them more than your own inner power? And ain't that the truth? Right? I did an event where I was doing readings back to back to people, right? And people are always curious and they ask questions and they have questions, and I'm more than eager and wanting to answer and be as informative and insightful as I can be with the application of, you know, spirit and science and fusion, you know what I mean? And then also reading about the 888 activation with the life path number 8 and just the significance of that with even just myself being at the life path number 8, right? And the meaning behind that, right? So 8 acts as, right? So I wrote this down. 8 is known, hold on, is known as a powerhouse, right? The number acts as a bridge between the material and spiritual. It's a number of power and wealth, right? And the creation of that, right? And so they tend to the detailings of that. So they might, like, even 8s might have even strong Virgo in their chart, right? Which I do too, right? I'm just saying, like, detailing on Capricorn or something like that, some kind of disciplined energy that allows for this creation of consistency with how one orchestrates the grand plan or scheme of things, even without knowing anything, right? So the leadership, right, that comes from that births from that, right, is like that student teacher, right? When the student awakens, the teacher arrives, or some shit like that, and then the teacher is born too, like, So, anyways, what was the whole point of that? But I don't even know. But bridging, right? So bridging, right? And applying and using that which we have, which is our ability to comprehend. And you can say, and there's always protesters something, what about, because they want to make a movement for everything. That person's just in conflict with their own position at this current time. Anybody that is at war with a position, stance, or whatever, even an injustice, and I don't care of how it's going to be received by those sensitive by what I have to say, then hop the fuckity off if it's too sensitive for you. But if it's a trigger for you, check yourself, me, not me. Because I'm not seeking or looking or speaking to offend. I'm speaking freely as I can. Right? And so, people that are defensive or argumentative, you could be coming from a justified place. Nobody's taking that away from you, right? But to make everything an issue, I was watching. It was interesting. You need me? All right, hold on a second. Hold on. Welcome back. Although all you see is a little pause, some time has passed. So if you think I know what I was saying before I hit pause, sing again. But either way, I went back to the last line that I was reading and stuff like that, but I just wanted to like them. Talking about things. Alright. Okay. So welcome. So Dragon Blood Sage is what are you doing? Go back to my room. It's bedtime. Oh, that's wait. It's an honor to be a mom. And I understand that not everybody gets to be a mother, in this life. Like some don't get to experience it in a healthy, wealthy, stealthy kind of way. And there's so many varying degrees to a mother, you know what I mean? And the experience, one can have or not have, anyways. Because of my experience with my mother and losing her and the loss that I experienced and the devastation that I have to get through, right? It influenced my desire as a mother of how I desired to be for my child, my children, you know, and devoted be my way. I love meeting mothers that absolutely adore their children and not just for the cameras or just in front of people. I can't, like, I've witnessed that, and I always defend children in respectable ways that I can, but there are a lot of things, you know, it's none of your business. It's not your place, and they're not in the consciousness space to receive that what you say, so it's pointless. Right? It's just gonna go over their head, and they're gonna be angry and have more reasons to secretly hate you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, what was I saying? I was saying Dragon Blood Sage. Dragon Blood Sage. If you like that, it's excellent. Like for it's known for power, purification, consecration, ritual kind of energies, love, protection, exorcism type stuff, releasing like negativity and all that kind of stuff, and fuck shit kind of vibes and all that kind of stuff. With wisdom too. At the time, I channel a lot of like that dragon energy. I'm drawn to dragons. I have dragons in my room too, in different kind of styles too. It's one of the spirit animals that was early on shown to me in a vision, right? And so my development of appreciation, I work a lot with animals, as if you follow any of me on my social media platforms and you see like even my stories and all that kind of stuff, I love animals. I love them. But anyway, okay. So we were reading about spiritual technology, right? And the last sentence that I read was, "Do you depend on them more than your own inner power?" Which had brought me back to like knowing who you are, what you are, and the power that is you. Understanding that none of this makes you, nothing, no materialism, no leveling of anything outside of you is better than you or knows, like, no, like no, 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 no. Okay, like no. And so I remember years ago, this is like over 10 years ago, when I had to purge my tarot cards, my books, like everything that I felt, because I was at a different stage in my life, different place, and I was surrendering. I was surrendering to divine, and at that time it was through Christianity too. At that time, that was where I was making my connection. I wasn't being religious, although I was a church participant. I love the music there. And you know me, I love to sing, dance, and I taught kids there too. And so, and I was part of like the Bible study and shows and all this kind of stuff, because dramatic be my pose, expressive be my soul, that kind of thing. So, truth be told, right? And so, and during that time, because I felt like I had to choose, I felt like when I was getting into my development of my relationship with God, right? I felt like now I was judging my spirituality, and the only reason why I got rid of it was because I asked myself an honest and true question, and I answered myself honestly and truthfully. And the only reason that I had to get rid of it was like a lesson, like it was like a disciplining action. I cried. I cried, and for some things it was like if they were pried out of my hands, like, this gotta go too, darling. I'm like, Do you understand? Like, who and why should I be crying over these things that can easily motherfucking be replaced, if anything? Like, it's just a thing, an object, an inanimate object that has no power, but it did. It's influence in my environment. It's also I'm a bookworm, right? I love books, and as people know, I always have different kind of library styles existing in whatever place I'd be living at the moment, right? And so, right. So even my books and many of those style of books, I didn't get rid of all my books, but I did get rid of a lot of collection of books. Because even my collection of books, and honest and truthful answer is because in that like biblical passageway is like, what do I have above God? And it was all these things. And I was like, ooh. Oh, you hold these things in more importance than to your relationship with the divine. We can call it God, we can call it whatever, but my connection and my reliability and my comfortability and my habitual way of doing things, because that's how I like divination tools. See, now I have a different relationship with, although I still collect and I have many tarot oracles. Again, I restarted my collection when I got back into my own infusion of my truths and my authentic self, learning what I'm about by learning what I'm not about and what I am, and learning, right? Earning. That's how you earn, you learn, right? And you apply too in your life. And so, at that time, it was above everything. It was hard to, like, you couldn't pry it out of my hands. Like just the thought of getting rid of it was devastating. Like, now I understand my love of books and collections. I'm a collector of many kinds of different things. Some people have names for those kind of things. Oh, a collector or a hoarder or whatever. I'm not a hoarder. Like, so people that want a name call or something like that. I collect different things because I have varying interests and I like things, and if I can, I will get what I want. And that's just that. And so if I see it in passing, but the whole importance of the thing is I don't need these things, and they're not honing me, and I will break it myself, although I won't. But I'm just saying, out of principle and out of right, like, it doesn't own me and it doesn't make me, and it wouldn't break me, right? So if this, before, I've even gotten intentionally more careless, like with certain tarot decks and stuff like that, because I used to be really anal with certain kinds of things. So I don't want to be like that. Because it's flow, I'm growing, I'm in my knowing. No need, but I do like to have nice, presentable things, and I like that when I want to use that which I want, it's nice, right? Right. So it's understanding your truth and why you do what you do, and not just making it some impulsive, reactive behavioral pattern and conditioning way that is activated robotically, and you just absentee and just allowing what to move your fucking vessel. Can you please tell me? You know what I'm saying? So none of these things you don't need. And that was like the thing too, like when I did the event thing, right? I established that, like, like in the beginning, chatting with the coincide group and stuff like that before we started and all this kind of stuff. Saying, like, I love using divination tools. They're helpful because of how I channel and how I receive. Sometimes I get a lot of information, sometimes, all the time. It's just a download. It's a lot of information, and especially when you're navigating systems and I'm dealing with a lot of different kind of energies all around me that I'm conscious of, aware of too, at this time too, as I'm telling and being here, present day now, and activated in that kind of, like, like whatever, like, breathe, right? I just get like that. Maybe that needed to happen so they can see. I get overwhelmed. Just so many things. brain freeze. What was you saying? I don't know. Okay, let's giggle. You know what I'm saying? So, really beat my way, in that kind of way. So at this group, when I speak at these group things and stuff, it's like I like to overly emphasize the consciousness and the practicality of the mysticism of my personal life and choice. Whatever other people's beliefs are and stuff, I'm not telling you a belief or a system. You got to figure it out for yourself and decide what it is that you're gonna do. But you got to act authentic and be true to you. That's all we're here to do, is to support one another, to be the very best versions of ourselves in our truth and our honesty and all that kind of means. But and supportive and there for those that want to receive, and not overly giving to people that want to be ignorant and not want what you got to give because you're the one that got to give it, and I don't want you to give it to me, but I want what you got, and you're the only one that got what I want, and then I don't want. I get a lot of. They love the message but hate that I'm the deliverer of it. That's their karma, not mine. Because I don't give a fuck. They love the message, but I hate that it gotta be me to deliver it. I'm sorry. There's a lot of fucking deliveries of messages that I have, like, whatever, like in my growth and my evolution that you gotta take. It has nothing to do with ego, and it has nothing to do with who's doing the delivery. At least the delivery got here. That means you're in the evolution of receiving that which needs to be received. That's alchemy. We're all master magicians. Do you not see the seed of the one that, although we're unique and all that kind of stuff, and each of us individual are these breeds of seeds and things, but like unified and harmonized would be a nicer kind of route. Utopian dreamer. Like, look at the names. There's a witchy utopian. That's the name of my website. witchyutopian.com. Wait, is that it? Wait, what was it? Wait, cut. Southern Spirit. Oh my god, oh my god. So yeah, that I'm supposed to be saying too. So for my sensitives out there, my extra sensitives, I'm talking about the ones that are tapped in, turned on, tuned into other dimensional kind of activities going on that you can either, depending on your relationship with your abilities, your awareness of that which you see, hear, dream, like whatever is your way of how you receive. For me, it's a multitude of things, and I feel like it's like that for all of us. And I feel like we, on our different stages of our own evolution, we're activated with certain kind of awarenesses, to certain kind of gifts or abilities that we're practicing on, honing in on. It doesn't mean that's the only one. You're a limitless, not a limited. Don't be id, right? Infinite. Be our structure. That means evolution is our wave. That means that even though I might think that this is the finality of this kind of wave, in my human state of you don't know shit brains, right? To hold myself in some kind of place just out of pure stubbornness and ignorance and that kind of way, just to hold on. No, this is always going to be this way because it's survival. Karma will be their wave until they learn how to get off that stage, but again, it's an activation individualized that has to happen in their own evolution over time, and that's going to be on their own divine right time. And you have no right to determine that time space for it or them, or even pass judgment or cast judgment and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. But we're all judgment and juries in every kind of degree, and that's just truth. And when I even say, "Oh no, I don't judge nobody," I say that too, because I really don't. But then I find the judgment when I gotta deal with shit. My judgment is that, and this is a negative judgment made. Fuck off. Right? So what, are we denying shadows because we don't like the way they have been made to look? That's because everybody's putting a label and a position and taking a stance on everything, thinking that they have to side with one or the other over the other because they think they know everything. I don't know. The further away or lost we feel from our environment or our perceived environment that we are awakened to in our now state. Rewind. Ew. That's my edit. You like it? Right. So, rewind. Right? Because I was talking to the sensitive, and then I went off, and I never got to the point. Right? And I don't want to keep going off and then lose that point because this time is, and now that I'm doing this video and I realize the date, it makes fucking sense in every kind of way. Oh, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna rewind again because I just want to end that where I was saying I lost you. Playback. That at this event and this function stuff like that, like I in the places that I go, I even when I do readings with people over the phone or on Zoom and all this kind of stuff, like I always say, I don't need the cards to read. One, I don't need them. I like them, and so I use them. I utilize them, but they're just a tool to help organize the structure of that which is the divine. So they're just useful at this time, and they help organize the channel. Right, right, beautiful. That right, we eliminate that. We now move forward. Let's go forward to the sensitive, right? And then me, even right now, doing this video and realizing today's state, although it's man-made, made up in every kind of way, but again, these predate me. And so that energy of creation, of belief and traction and domination exists way stronger than my ignorance right now. You know what I'm saying? Right? So, right. So there's, if you, yesterday I was at this place and I go into this place and I'm set up in this space, and immediately when I walked into the space, I felt a masculine energy, and the whole entire time I thought there was a man there, but outside, like, because I thought there was a TV on. Now I'm questioning that reality of what I thought I heard, or was it music or radio that was just outside playing? I don't know. But it was in this people's home, right? An extension out to go to like their yard area. I thought there was somebody there, a man. I didn't see or anything like that. The whole time, they questioned, didn't ask, didn't see, didn't know. And then when I was setting up and doing stuff, the entryway, I started to get jittery. And I'm like, it's just my nerves. And I was excusing my experience with my nerves, and I know better now. And so I was trying to quickly process the information, and I even said to my daughter, I'm like, whoa, whoa, I need a stage. And I feel very whatever. And then my suitcase thingy knocked over. And the drawer, because it has like 3 drawers with like red cases, like whatever. Anyways, the store stuff. The third drawer got stuck, and till today it's stuck. And there's things. It's not stuck the drawer, but whatever fell through, it doesn't allow me to even take the drawer out to get what fell back there. Like so it's like lost in the dimension of the unknown. Of I can't take this apart, kind of thing. Like so it's back there, like those bags and things like that, right? And it was this all happened in the entryway, and at that time, like I don't sweat, and I don't like to sweat, so I avoid sweating if I could. But I sparkle sometimes, but I'm not one to like I'd rather be cold than hot, and I don't do heat outside unless I'm in a body of water or I'm inside an AC. It has to be hot. Um, we don't do hot. I don't like to sweat. It's not fit. Although it's great if I go to a sauna for that or exercise or whatever and enjoy that kind of workup of a sweat. But when I'm sitting down and eating or doing some kind of ordinary basic function, the last thing I want to do is be hot. If I'm trying to sleep and be hot, that's happened to me as a child. I didn't have AC or a fan in the summer. Heat in a room with no fucking windows. I was waking up every 3 to 5 fucking seconds to go soak a towel with cold water to place on my fucking body to try to get some fucking sense of sleep. And my grandmother was allergic to fans and air conditioners, so we weren't allowed to have one either. And a fan, if we did have one, it blew hot air. I don't like to be hot, nor will I tolerate or be hot. So we don't be hot here. I be cold. Hey, but you know, whatever, sensibly. But what was the whole point of that? so, so this all happened, and I started to sweat, and I was very like I started to then note that I felt there that like communication, but again, I have something to do. I have a lot of stuff to get done. I'm supposed to be doing a lot of setting up and this, that, and I got to go. I got to tend to do what I'm doing. And so I'm just doing it, but it got it didn't seem sabotagey. It got clearer today because today I got a lot more new information that I didn't have at that time that I'm like, oh my God. And then now when I was doing this video and I realized the date and I'm like, oh my God, like makes sense, right? Like the extra. I'm very energetically sensitive and I'm very much aware. Whether I say something or not does not take away the awareness or the consciousness. It just takes it doesn't, right? But I've been as of late extra like spidey senses. I'm talking about etherically, multidimensionally, not earthly. Like I'm seeing things or hearing things a little bit more or sensing things and being damn motherfucking accurate about it too, without knowing but learning later the accuracy of that which had occurred or something, right? So I'm in this place because I'm doing readings back to back, right? And the people are filing out. This whole time I thought there was a man. I just want to overly emphasize that again. Like I didn't question it or anything like that at all. Right? And So I'm understanding, I'm receiving for myself, like just the inner wisdom of that, because there's evolution in all of us, right? And where we are. And so I'm very claripotent, right? It's all the clears that can occur. I'm potent in whatever mood of potency I desire to be on in frequency whenever I am on it, right? Or however that applies. So it's going to be different every single time, right? Say, oh, always in this kind of sense. No, sometimes my evolution requires this sense to be the key at the time, right? Or multiples. You don't have to use it all one at a time, but things are overwhelming and things always happen anyways one at a time, even though it's fluid, simultaneous, and back to back and all this kind of stuff, a build up of all this kind of stuff, like it's still a process. Everything's a process for a progress, right? Anyway, um there's man. So the host of this event, because the event was long, it was hours long, and went well into almost midnight. It was a wrap, right? So I didn't get to do her reading, right? And stuff. So I don't like sharing my information. So that's the hesitation. So place yourself, because the human's talking right now. And she don't like to share. Flowgasmic goes in the channeling flow and can speak that generalistic, benefit for the evolutionary perspective. But when I go into my storylines, I don't like to talk my business at any given time. And fuck that, right? But this is important. So yeah, you're welcome. Okay. This is very important, especially for my extra sensitives, the ones that aren't those activated, like superheroes, spidey senses, many names for you, kind of spiritual beings that are activated and keen to the multidimensionality of happenings that be happening here, right? And you see things, hear things, know things, get things. Like it just is what it is. Whether someone believes you or not, it doesn't matter. It is apparent, and it has been an imprint. It's like a blueprint. It's like activated, like born. You were born with shit on the whole time, right? And so, whatever. But we are souls having a human experience, and so we have this human conditioning that has a lot of basic shit going on and going down for survival, for the way that we live and whatever. So it's not like a movie, but although we are the movie and we are the inspiration for every motherfucking movie that you think you see and all this kind of stuff, documentaries and all this kind of stuff, you are the inspiration for all of that. Okay. And so it's not like I walk into a place or a new space looking for ghosts. Like, I need a paranormal. I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about mediumship. I'm not like it's not like that, right? Especially if you're being present, right? But in aware and being present, it's like synonymous. It's infused. It's together. It's team. So there's no one without the other. You know what I mean? Just consciousness, breathing. Anyways, um, so flash forward to the next day, right? And I'm speaking to the person. I immediately from coming in, I had stuff to say about my beginning experience that I didn't get to express because after I was done with all the people that were there, um, I had to go, and so we didn't really get to like chat about the whole entire experience and all that kind of stuff, and so there was a lot that we didn't get to say, so I didn't get even mention anything about any of that had occurred and stuff. So when I arrived, I started saying what happened in the beginning, and eyes are wide, and let me speak, which is beautiful. Like, you know, it's nice when people listen to you deep, right? And they wait for that moment for you to finish saying what you're saying so that they can convey what they need to say. So at that moment in time, oblivious to what she was even going to say. And then she's like, you saw my father in the midst of all that. And I'm like, your father was there? And then she's like, I'm like, it was a man. Like, you know, like, outside, like, I felt like there was like a man. She goes, and I'm like, wait a minute, wait. Is your father alive too? And I went, no, I didn't see your father, but I did feel a man there. And then I said I had a lot of wonky stuff happen near the, she's like, entryway. And I'm like, yeah. It started falling. My drawers got stuck. I started sweating. Because even when I came upstairs to then speak to the group and, you know, introduce myself and all that kind of stuff too, I was sweating. And so I was associating it too with my nerves as well. But I'm like, no. Right? So one of the things that growing up that I had a path with like spirit, the divine, is you're not gonna show me full blown out apparitions. Like I don't mind seeing orbs, large, shadowy stuff, figures, and all this kind of like mystical kind of like from a distance, like nothing like full blown out like person, demon, angel, like ghost, or like right here, like in my face, like Chicken Little, like although brave and into all of this and activated and ready to, you know, go explore and conquer and, you know, find and all this kind of stuff and align. Um, I there was times to freak out moments of a lot of different spiritual activity things that happened in my whole entire growing up experience. I used to say my house was haunted. Like it was not a joke, and everybody that came into our home like says that people had their own stories. And I would always bring them to the scary basement where I had a lot of other family had group experiences of hauntings that would occur growing up in this house, and which is still my grandparents' house, by the way. We still have to go there, and it's different. Wow, right. So, anyways, that's for another video. But another thing. Oh yeah. So as it turns out, the urn of my father is in the entryway table thingy. So where all that was happening with me, where I was sweating and I was feeling something and all that kind of stuff, was where his ashes were. Okay. And and where I thought a man was is where he would be if he were alive, or something like that. Or I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to make up things and I don't want to add to it like to make it more interesting. It isn't. It's not for that, but it's just an exampling because there's more stuff and I'm not going to be talking about certain kind of other stuff. So this is the one I was okay with, like kind of like sort of sharing because I'm not revealing, and I'm not sharing it to spread or, you know, whatever. It's for the awareness of the potency of the energies of the portals, the vortexes of like the thinning of no veil. There is no fucking veil. There was just wool pulled over your own eyes, right? And you're like, oh, surprise, stupid life, right? So it's like, no, no more at this time, right? Oh wait, it's, it's caught up to me. Okay. So this Lion's Gate, I see. this, this, blah 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 blah. And so Was it then? Oh, right. So the potency, though, of whatever this energy, right? Everybody's gonna have a definition, meaning, or processing of what they think something is based off of their own intellect, evolution, upbringing, lifestyle, like belief system, like so many factors go into why someone can conclude something, right? So I'm not here to tell you what to conclude. Conclude whatever the fuck you come up with, like for yourself, like this is just development of health, wealth, self in a consistent, successful, effective, efficient kind of way, right? So it causes this kind of thing trigger in you to activate from your most highest and best potential self, and that's going to have to travel some shadowy help that will bring to light that what you think is shadow and is actually just misinformation. You know what I'm saying? So it's just whatever. So whatever it is, whether you want to associate this energy vortex kind of influence with astrology, numbers, universe, spirit, God, the Bible, the dimension, the ancients, the ancestors, whatever you want to call it. All I'm saying as an energy sensitive, there is a potent energy of something. And it was interesting too because when visiting the next day, I got met with that energy again. And it was upstairs this time. But again, intuitive, light. And so how someone might receive is like, when you receive information, claircognizance is me, and that clairpotency. It's like just knowing information. So in my consciousness, awareness, and not fearful way, healthy, wealthy, stealthy is my alchemy. And today I've seen a lot of things. I'm not that little girl afraid of the boogeyman full blown out operation coming here, and I have a hell of a lot of life lived and experience of this constant class of information, knowledge, and database system because it's been part of my life journey, right? To do, to articulate, to learn, to grow, to learn through my own, anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm not tooting or shooting for that kind of chat. I'm just overly emphasizing that everything is process, everything for progress. It's a cycle of evolution that takes time, right? And dependent on where you are in your own evolution of understanding, understanding, overstanding, will be wherever you are, right? I had it, I lost it, I had it, I lost it, I had it, I lost it. Oh, I'm gonna stretch though. Hi. Love you. Oh my goodness, she's following you. Let her in. Ebony. Thank you. The energy. The energy. That's what we were talking about. Right? So no matter what you're going to associate your perceptions and belief systems and all that kind of shit towards anything that I'm going to contribute to this conversation, right? This is just a contribution to your own personal conversation, right? You're here for your own deliberation of how you want to be and what you're going to do and how you're going to do what you do. That's on you. But the contribution is in the sharing and the being open to the being vulnerable to this experience. And it's a raw dog experience. This is new for me. So in the different stages of being a page, a student of life, right? I've had, like, in the last couple of videos, I've been talking about my grieving process and how I keep overly emphasizing to those that are tapping in, turning on, tuning in, and listening, is that I am sharing my grieving process in a healthy, wealthy way, and that although I am allowing for my emotions to go through so they can feel through, so that I can deal through, so I can heal too, right? It's a process in that journey. I'm being I'm sharing how that feels, what that looks like, and what that tastes like, what that smells like in my own kind of way, like documentation in its own kind of way, to help further illuminate that which is challenging and not often spoken about, because most people are just repetitious in the robotic patterns of karmic stabbing patterns, right? That just fuck shit up more, right? So no more, right? We're not knocking on the door and asking the questions and putting it into good practice. That was what we learned, right? It's like, how much can you possibly learn and earn if you don't apply, right? What was the thing? Oh, right. So so now I'm processing this experience and stuff, and now other flashes of, like, other recent experiences of other kind of things that I didn't focus on because I'm doing my basic living. I'm, like, I'm going through some grieving, or, like, but I'm also, I have been affirming out loud too, going back to, like, that this is the most healthiest grieving I have ever experienced in this 3D perceived reality of my now experience in my life that I am currently going on, having had many losses in my life since starting with the death of my mother at the age of 9. After that, it was a continuation of just so much unhealthy. And so, in all that, I have been like a little personal documenter of my own personal journey and experience in various ways. Writer be my way before any of the social media and internet platforms took place. Writer was my page, my stage. I did a lot of acting. I did a lot of dancing. I did a lot of cheerleading. I did a lot of sports. These different outlets of expression. I wrote poetry. I was the poet. Deep shit too, right? And so, in this timeline of my own alchemy, because the case should be for life. You can tap into it at any given time. You go into the memory span of any lifetime of yours, dependent upon where you are in your evolution of processing that too. A lot of the times the humans can't process that which they can't conceive. You know what I mean? So symbolic acts are good deeds into the development of your own streams of infinite, expansive potential. Say that back. Okay. So, make a long story short, but I never do. This is probably gonna be like 2 hours long or something like that. But a quarter great, and may you activate in every kind of phenomenal way and be inspired to do so today. Just by activating and coming here, the alchemy here is real, whether you even get to process the information that I say, if it flies over your head in every kind of way, and the fact that you stayed in the this page and you received the manna in that kind of way, there's alchemy here, baby. I love it. What was I saying? I was saying something. I'm tired. I'm like so tired. And I just saw my eyes go droopy. I'm like, whoa. Get what I 4:04. Right? 4:04 in the morning, AM. Let me start wrapping this up and get into the points of that which I was needing to say. Okay? What was I saying? And just to clarify, someone doesn't need to die in order for someone to suffer loss. Okay? Just so that we're clarifying that in every kind of way. But either way, right? So just my part of my journey is my own awareness and my own development. Period. Period. And so because like the number 8, right? Life path number 8, right? Acts as a bridge, right? Between the material and spiritual, right? Powerfully, right? Wealthy too, right? And so 8 is thought to be the master to integrate, right? Spirit into matter, right? To making what is intangible tangible, right? So anyways, beyond that point, I'm sorry. It's a long day. But in my own documentation and my own journey and ability to travel back and forth in between and all of that and channel and go somewhere and scribe, right? I have been experiencing certain kind of like losses of death, right? These last 2 years, right? That hit close to here. And in this awakened sense of evolution that I'm now in grief is something I'm familiar with. And it's downward spiral of an experience that has been for me in many kind of degrees that cause tragedy, you know? And so this latest, right, although, you know, it's just part of life, I'm very clear I'm going through, if I go through anything or whatever, it's in this most healthiest kumbaya zen space that is real. And so that feeling for like over a year or two of getting to know kumbaya and accepting kumbaya, right, the last couple of years, we enter into a new space of, because we're familiar now better with our inner G, right? And so now we can articulate with wisdom how we're going to navigate from this new space of energy that is the alchemy of creative seed that is needed to be forged into further traction, creation, manifestation, population, right? Deliberately, right? Dedicatedly, devotedly, consistently, will powerfully, and all these kind of things, right? And it's not coming from a state of unhealthy, because it's coming from the place of transformation, and now it's the time for application, and that's going to be different for everybody on where are you applying the new energy spaces magic in full alchemy with that which you desire to create, right? So, Lion's Gate energy, supportive of your dreams, right? Right? Astrologers consider this, like we said, right, to be for in the spiritual community too, one of the most opportunistic times for you to really speak it into existence, that which you desire to create. But let us masturbate before we deliver that message into the universe and allow ourselves to really alchemize our feeling department, our thinking department. Make sure it's in harmony department so that when we yang the department by acting with our bodies and our tools, the vessel that we have to execute whatever delivery of that conclusion between the infusion, create your manifestation, PlayStation, activate in support of you. So what's reality for you? What's factuality for you? Right? What wish, what desire? Tend to the wound of that wish and desire that has maybe brought you some disappointment or dissatisfaction or feeling as though you can't receive or can't accomplish or whatever keeps you off your center, right? Don't look away from it. Address that which you don't want to see, right? Or whatever. What do you want to burst into reality? Don't look at it so negatively, right? So for the sensitive, right, that I'm talking about with this whole feeling thing, as a child, I had made this path, right? That I'm cool with every other kind of dish out of power potency you got for me, but don't give me full blown out apparitions. Like I don't want to see that full blown out stuff. I don't, because I thought I would stick out. I don't like I'm in a different state of evolution now, but I understand the childhood me, so I would like chicken little, right? No matter how tough I could be, chicken little in certain spirituality department. I wasn't afraid of no people, but there's certain things that can go spook me out. I'm like, what? After I triggered it or freaking instigated the whole spiritual encounter or whatever the case maybe. But development and the process of that is just funny and whatever. That's the thing. I just want to let you know. But right. So yeah. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. Um that's the thing. Thank you. Hi. So yeah. So in my own documenting, I'm finding the articulation to be able to convey, right, the lessons of the day in that kind of way. And so each of us are doing that in our own same kind of way, in our own kind of alignment, in our own kind of refinement, and it's going to be different for each and every one of us. So, whatever. But this opportunity, this harmony, this synergy, this energy, your knowledge is powerful, and now your application is even more powerful to infuse with that which you want to do, and then utilizing the energies around you that are supportive of that which you want to create. So getting into your truth about what you want to manifest and create, and being courageous about it, and tending to the womb too, right? Because that keeps coming up for me here as I'm talking about it, is the wound of the desire. It needs to be addressed. So like, let's say for instance, you crave so much love. You crave love. You want love. You're in chase of like I knew this person that was always in search of their king, and every person they met was their king, and and would get upset with me at my bluntness about just because I'm really big on celibate activist friendship. I think it's important. I think it's fucking important to learn to get to know somebody and be their friend without thinking that you have to own them, be with them, be intimate with them, fuck them, or trauma bond with them, or like manipulate. Like you don't have to. Not every connection has to automatically be a lusting act to show devotion, love, and friendship. That's why that shit don't be lasting. Because y'all right away go into that lustful action. That's a chemical reaction, and you thinking it's leading to your satisfaction. And meanwhile, you, the main attraction, that doesn't even know how to mirror your own satisfaction because you're going after that which does not serve you. I'm not going into like, anyways, dynamics of that, but yeah. So this person will get mad at me too, like because don't ask me then. Like, don't ask me. If you are looking for a specific kind of answer or enabling, I'm not going to give that to you. And I'm perfectly content not being asked, nor needing to say. Right? So, right. So clearly, it's important to really, well, going into this, all right, anyways, so for example, it could be something like, so you're always seeking love, wanting love, and dissatisfied if not in a love-filled relationship, right? Um, and continuing to cycle that feeling, right? Continuing to cycle that feeling, right? And doing all the inner work that you think you're doing, and then here's this opportunity time for you to apply that which you have learned to utilize this energy in your favor, right? So the universe or whatever source, right, of the science aspect of like the laws of attraction, right, kind of theme, right? Although everything is a faulty kind of theme and understanding because evolution be way, but we can formulate our own understandings at the different places we find ourselves on in our experiences and navigate through there. But anyway, um, so it's a many layer and it's never ending, right? All these openings, vortexes, portals that we activate and are a part of in whatever state of being of consciousness we are privy to be on. Because every state of consciousness that we find ourselves on that is a level up to that which previously we were not on, is a new opportunity to create new space for that which is unknown. And part of addressing the unknown factor of these things is addressing the fear factor of certain kind of things, right? Of the conditioning that will have you behavioral pattern and conditioning or believing that it's impossible or not possible or unlikely or not favorable for you in some kind of way to achieve or have because of your experience or your life or what statistics or this or that says about your situation, circumstance, and way of life or be or whatever the case may be, like something trying to speak for you and how to be and all this kind of stuff. And this kind of energy is like a prisoner kind of energy, right? That can keep one stuck in the same cycle, right? What's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So sometimes it's not everybody wants to change their environment, but they don't change their inner environment, right? That's the key. It's for a lot of the things, right? To change your outer reality, you gotta focus on your inner. the only way. If not, everything's gonna be chaos in some kind of way, or you like that fish swimming with the flow. You're just going with the flow. Do you know, right? So, anyways, what was I saying? A lot. Right. So, right. So, be wise. At this, if there's a day to pick, right, every day should be the day that you're present now in every kind of way. How do you want to activate, right? Aim to intensify your experience. Know that no matter if you aim to intensify your experience or not, this time of experience, because of whatever is going on that we can all call different things and all this kind of stuff, there's an activated energy that is extra at this time, that the evolution of the me now that is exploring the universe with the wisdom and knowledge that I have attained at this point has me viewing the same experience that I've always encountered and had in a new light, in a new way, in a new expansive land space that I get to explore without now having the opportunity to apply that which I have learned, so I don't need to operate from a fear. So the little girl in me would be like, no, no, no full-blown operations. I don't want to see. And the me now, with the understanding of that which is here and what is and all that I have been through and all this kind of stuff, like, show me! Bring it! Right? So my evolution and peace and awareness and consciousness with my own development and acceptance and journey and growth from that which I'm aware of, right, has led me to this new space that is new to me. I don't know what that looks like. So now I'm having new experiences that are intensified, that are now trickling from my already experiences that I have. And so I am seeing things like more intensely. It's like taking a shroom. Like, whoa. Color potency, like, whoa, I just saw that clearly. Clearly. So there's like a much more clarity to the sight you see in the certain kind of things. So the whole thing with the energy that I was picking up, that now I understand to be the father energy of that person's home and space and the urn and all this kind of stuff. Prior to receiving that knowledge, I was having this experience, this trippy one that I was conscious to, and although I was busy and doing all that which I needed to do, I was noting to myself my experience. And so again, travel my own Akashic land, the time that I have the moment to reflect upon that which occurred and happened. I have all these pivotal notes that I took during its processing. And so I now, with the, after getting some rest, because I had to go, like, after finishing work and doing all this kind of stuff and doing stuff and whatever, ending my night, and finally when I got to bed, right, which was late after hours, right, I rested, and the next day, right, prior to getting that other extra information, still not knowing what had occurred, I had ample opportunity and time to reflect upon that which occurred. And I had even brief conversations with my daughter here where I was explaining, I'm like, there was a man there, and she's like, but there wasn't. And I'm like, but there was. And then she was like, and it was hostile, right? But not the energy, but anyway, a lot went on, or whatever the case may be. So up until this point, I still didn't know about the father energy, right? And so, mind you, I'm meeting with this person at a later time, and so so the buildup of my inner standing came from my introspection and reflection and lessons and growth and wanting to understand what is happening now from this new space that I'm on that's not the little girl that has always been exploring, fearful in some kind of way, right? It's I'm open the door, portal, activate, right? Elevate, activate, right? This energy that is beneficial, right? To helping not only Earth and the universe and all that kind of stuff, like, right? It's us too, right? So we're tapping into the potential of all of you and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, um, anyways, um, so even when I was explaining it to the chick and stuff like that, I was going through it consciously and I was expressing like what I was experiencing because I started to fly again. So that's new for me. And that's something that I have to acknowledge, like these new like I've already gotten comfortable with my identification process and my understanding of how I receive information and how I see how right like how I see, how I hear, how I feel, how I know my dreams. I've had 40 plus years of constant, deliberate, like study, right? Intentional. No matter what walk of life I have been on, I have always been in study, a conscious, active study, activated, right? And so so leading up unto me finally meeting with her and now have telling her about my experience and us now identifying and all this kind of stuff, it brought me to this moment now when I started recording and realizing the 8-8 portal, which is very intense, and I, not knowing today's date, came here with the intention to talk about 8-8, not realizing that it's right now. And having up until this point all these personal behind the scenes experiences that I've been processing and looking at and understanding and reflecting upon and having the experiences and experience it's happened, right? And then now realizing the 8-8 significance, right? And for me it's a good reference. It has a lot of like correlation to the theme of everything that was occurring too, because I was even telling her, like when we were speaking, and she was like, well, maybe you're supposed to sit here and figure out what he's trying to tell you, like, and I'm like, no, like, so I then met consciously as I caught myself saying it to her. She's not aware of this within me, but this is happening, and this is happening for me. It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. I immediately, in my triggered response, went to resist what she had said. And I was like, no, because of the conditioned aspect of my response system now taking place, because I'm being conscious and I'm being activated to even share. I'm like, right now, I'm sweating again. I'm seeing these new symptoms, right? These little things. And I'm like, and I feel like somebody wants my attention. Like, I get it now. And so downloads start coming in of information. And that's how I received it. And like, it's just very true. And then some trippy, crazy shit happens, right? And it's like, ooh, spook, right? But it's not a spook because I'm not in that spook state of mind anymore. And so now I'm open to this evolution of, okay, I may not understand everything at every single time, but these things are happening and I'm in alignment with that which I'm open to. And so in my years of processing that which I have become familiar with of how I give, like if people want the names that people give and stuff like that, like, but anyways, we each possess and have that which what we are, whatever that is, call it whatever you want. But like I have grown accustomed to the gifts that I know, right? And learning it more and understanding it better with myself and developing my own feelings and relationship with that which I'm getting to know myself, right? Accept, acknowledge, validate, right? That whole cycling process, right? Unconditioning our conditioning, ridding ourselves that which we were never, activating ourselves to operate from our fullest potential, learning through unlearning, like, whatever the process is different for everything, but being a cooperative component with that which you want to create, right? The evolution of you and all that you do and stuff like that. So you're opening up to the new, and that, a process too for progress and stuff like that. So it's only in the time of when certain things are happening that you're gifted this one moment in time opportunity to put to good use that which you have learned. Either you do or you don't, right? And I do. I like to. I want to. And I hope you do too, right? And I believe you do, especially if you're watching all this shit and you even heard through any and all of this in babble. You're so cute. So yeah. So anyways, I just want to finish now because now it's like after 4:30 a.m. Okay. It's important. It's important. But whatever. The getting through the bowels is part of the manna that I understand. The karma for the many that must go through the manna of detailing that might eye roll it, especially if they're resistant to it, but know intuitively that they have to listen to it. And so it's the process of priding through that and getting through that is like gritting teeth sometimes, like, and so it's the process of the journey. But anyways, that's a side note for whatever other energy I'm picking up, whatever. But anyways, so yeah, so this new experience of activation that's happening at this time, happening too around the 8/8 portal, like for me, all this kind of stuff, right? That I'm sharing with you. It's collective for those of us that it's gonna be for, right? Whenever you find yourself here. So this could be, you could be coming 4 or 5 years later to this video and it resonates now and it's activated now. And for me, this happened 4 or 5 years before, or the people that watched it then, it doesn't make it any less important to you. It's when you are here, you are on your own journey. You hear? Right? So this is a portal activator, vortex energy that is potent, right? Potent. So potent. So potent. Thankful. Either way, skipping ahead to deliver, right? So this other card had fallen out, right? It's desperation, 33, right? So sometimes when we are in crisis, we make choices from fear and desperation that we later wish we could take back. This is true of the Zetas as well. This card asks you to look at the lessons learned by the Zetas and apply them to your life. Never react from fear or desperation, for those choices will be ones that are not aligned with your higher self. Wait, watch your emotions, feel and embrace them, and let them go. When calmness comes, make your choices from there. If you have already made regrettable choices and it's too late to change them, bless those choices and move on with no regret. If you have not yet read or understood the plight of the Zetas, read the descriptions from cards. We're not doing that right now. This card represents the underlying energy from which the Zetas acted in trying to heal their species crisis. Even though they believed they were not connected with their emotions, this collective suppressed emotion of desperation. They suppressed emotion of desperation was what drove them to make decisions, and sometimes those decisions were based on fear. If this card came up in your reading, a deep message is given on many levels. It may mean that you have a connection to the Zetas from this era, that you have helped them somehow, perhaps in genetic projects or in understanding emotion, or that you perhaps had a life as a Zeta at the time. It may also mean that you are having ongoing contact with Zetas from this era, but even deeper than this, it is asking you to look at your own life and how you make decisions. All humans feel desperation at some point in life. Look at how the issue of desperation plays out in your life and see if you can learn to confront and heal your fears. before they get to the stage of desperation, and decisions are not made from a healthy place, right? And so that, I'm so grateful for seen that, and I'm like, because I'm trying to articulate and I'm getting a little bit slightly like not frustrated or annoyed. I'm good and stuff like that, but I am really tired and I do want to go to sleep, but I don't want to get in my own way of completing that which must be completed. And so that was perfect because that goes straight with this eight greatness of awareness that you have and this opportunity that you have right now to apply that which you have learned, right? And then going back to the sensitive, and then I keep on going back and forth with everything and stuff like that. This is a highly potent time for everyone, no matter where you are in your evolutionary journey. So everything right now that's being activated is intensifying. So whatever you are on in your emotion, thought, place, or feeling about certain things, it's going to feel intense right now. And then also for those of you that do have that are mystics, right, in perspective, like this, life, like you have genuine otherworldly experiences, right? Um, you know, um, right now, this whatever new experiences you are having, like don't brush them under. I don't think you should. I think you should be aware. I'm sure you are if you're hearing. But like me too, right? like it's it's like taking a shroom. It's like much more intense from wherever we have been already accustomed to, and it's like the expansion of that happening some more new ways. So like back to that story with the girl, right? And immediately my conditioning spoke for me and was like, no, like not me, maybe you. Maybe I'm just here to tell you that he wants stuff for you, right? And all this kind of stuff, right? The father. Going back to the father, I'm sorry. But and even when I said it, it was blasphemy, right? Like no. So it immediately brought me to what me as a parent in raising my daughter, because she sees full blown out of her like things, right? And um, she's raised where that was welcome, so it's never been something hidden. So even from when 2, 3 years old, and her communicating what she's seen, intrigued am I, because I have the same experience in my life. I encouraged it and welcomed it, and so she's always felt comfortable. She's raised to feel comfortable, like she doesn't know life without like that, talking about it and making sense of it, and just whatever is how she has been raised. And so she sees full blown out things, but she's always been accepting of it. But like I have always like, well, what are you doing with it? And for her, nothing. Right? This is the thing. This is the conversation. Nothing. Like one time something tapped. Right? It's like, leave me alone. I'm taking a nap. Just take a nap. Like, you know what I mean? And so I think about the air quality in her chart and stuff like that, and the dominance of that, like, strong character. I would say still, like, mother be my wave, that, you can't always dismiss everything for every day. Like, there's going to come a time, like, something's knocking your way. And granted, you don't have to open every door that knocks and all this kind of stuff. But because instead of being my way and all this kind of stuff, there's a lot that I can't rush, I can't push, I can't make her do anything. And this is part of the journey. This is not now. I'm just saying this is 21 now. This is a lot of life lived, like with my relationship with my kid, like adolescence, toddler, adolescence. Like I'm just overly generalizing and putting it all together into one, right? But this is a story over time, like development over time, right? Um, and I would say, you know, um, you have a gift, like and not everybody can see the way that you do, and so to ignore that too and not dive into that would be to cheat and to change yourself. So be open to your own experience. I know it's a lot of work, and some of the things like you have to do it, find your way, but don't ignore the wave. Don't ignore the call either. Like, see what's it about. Like, what are you avoiding? Like, or it's just that, like, also lazy, or like not like, I don't like to call names or say names or things like that. I'm just pointing out we have to address that which keeps us stuck. We got to move that which we deny a move to, right? Because we refuse to take a step. So, anyways, she's had her 21 years of developmental experience and still will always have her developmental evolutionary experience that she continues to have and grow with too. And so, it's cool. It's nice to watch from this perspective as a proud mama. You know what I mean? And so, either way, and for the last couple of years, I have been met with certain kind of mediumship, right? And a lot of like what I hear in their experiences and stuff like that, because mind you, I don't talk to anybody like, about these kind of experiences or anything like that. They would say certain things that they would experience that I have had, and they're like, and those are, and people will be like, oh, those are signs of mediumship and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, right? Because I don't see anything, and that's how I'm perceiving it, like the movie Ghost. I'm probably like, like even though she didn't see, but they were just like, well, they were still like just the imagery we saw it as the viewer, right? And so I have this overly active, creative, artistic imagination that is very silly, and so I can be really silly with myself. Do it to myself. But anyways, what was I saying? anyway, to make a long fucking story short, right? The last couple of years in my own development, like now that I have that time for reflection, introspection, stuff like that, the claircognizance part that I would receive about me having to apply that, the advice I give to others in the development of their own gifts and intuitive abilities to grow and expand on. Because one of my gifts is identifying your gift. I can see what you are capable or have the potential to do, even if you don't see it in you. Like, yeah, right. So, I love to encourage that. I'm an encourager. I want you to tap in, tune into that which do you not know, and then so a lot of times, I get people I start telling them what they can do that nobody knows, and then that's what gets the conversation growing and going, right? Yeah, and so I like it. I think it's fun because I'm not a hater or cockblocker, and it's purified fucking energy. And it works, right? That's why the access key code is not denied, for there is no malicious intent in the development of that evolution, right? Many of you here have earned your stripes. You have put in mastery, exemplary work like no other. And you are equipped and armored to do as you do, be as you are, shining star in whichever department you desire to show up in. Okay? It's yours. Okay? But let's do one more card. So let us not avoid that which is uncomfortable. I always say I'm like the court gesture, the fool. always wanting to make people laugh in uncomfortable situations. Like, I'm that jokester growing up as a kid. I had to transmute a lot of negative energies or violence and all kind of stuff. And so in the middle of a huge fucking disaster, I'm over here cracking jokes and everybody's just like, yeah, bro. Like, what? But I got everybody to smile. I got that mood to shift. I got it to like uplift. Like, I took the hit, right? Be the clown, like, and for years, even my family, they'd be like, I don't know if I want to take it seriously because, actions be my life too. Like, I can play straight. But anyways, so let us find the wisdom in the action, right? For our future, right? For our future. Oh my gosh, these two fell out, right? So, open contact for our future, the Pleiades, and self-observance, right? With Lyra for our future, right? So we got two futuristic cards, right? Right, because, yeah, 767. Mm-hmm. I was going to After much struggle as a species, the Lyrians eventually healed themselves by honestly and objectively observing themselves. What? At first, this can be a difficult task. Oh my gosh, on Instagram, at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS. That's me, the one and only. I have a new subscription platform offer that is exclusive to subscribers. You become my friends, dear friends that I share a lot, do a lot, and encourage a lot, and pay attention to you a lot too. With all you do, and there's an intro rate offer now, right? That will not be always. But it's just the intro to get people excited, because once whatever price setting it's on when you do subscribe, that price setting will be what you're locked into. Even if I change the price later on, you're locked into the price you came in on, which is great. I think that's fair and stuff like that, because that's what you committed to, that's what you signed up for whenever you signed up for it. So right now it is the cheapest it's ever going to be, and I'm about to, like, I keep almost not, like, as when people subscribe, I'm like, no more. But yeah, so whenever I intuitively receive the change, it will change, and it's going to be gradual until I get to the last number I'm going to stop on, whenever that's going to be. You know what I mean? So, right. Yeah, and so if you like and love the vibe and want to eat the fucking manna every day in your life and feel inspired and motivated to do and get into the alchemy and groove and let me be your own pocket muse, all you gotta do is uplift too, because I be all enchantressly babbler, as you can see. I got a lot to channel and flow, you know what I mean? And so I pull a lot of cards for you guys. I talk to you guys on inner sight. So I'm talking to you, the subscriber, in ways that I don't typically engage, because private be my stage, right? So those that are subscribers are my friends, and I'm letting you in, my friends. So be cool. So either way, so I'm seeing a lot of stuff. So, and also I'm tired, so it's gonna just intensify because I get to that lucid state of I know that, oh, I see everything. So before that starts occurring, I get the documentation. I'm not ready for that. So at first, this can be a difficult task, but in the end, it leads to a powerful transformation as long as it is done without judgment. Wow, we were talking about that too. The power of self-observation is essential for any person or species who seeks transformation. Begin this process now. Just observe. See your habits and patterns without the need to fix anything. It is an alchemical process that produces spiritual evolution on a profound level. Right? The love and wisdom of the Lyrian forefathers can guide you. Just ask for help. This Lyrian time stream represents the Lyrian culture after they healed their karma and the challenges of the past when they were a young species, right? So when a culture enters this phase of species maturity, it is like a renaissance. Consciousness begins to shift and they begin entering the galactic community from a place of respect and with the vision of the unified whole of creation rather than individual planets or species. Like this whole he, she, me, feminine energy against the masculine energy, and the gay community against the straight community, and the blacks against the whites, and all this man against women, domestic violence, this, that, and all this war, like all these streams that can keep us divided, you know what I mean? All that, oh, he hurt me, she hurt me, oh, they lied on me, they did this to me, I'm gonna get them back. You see this revenge energy, like all this kind of shit, like, you know, that's karmic, you know what I mean? Like, I posted, right, and I got it from the Quietest Revolution. I love her, Amber, I was gonna say Amber Heard. Amber Khan. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. But I posted a thing in my story. Oh yeah, where is the quote? I don't want to picture it because I'm tired. Ah, he's skipping. I'm tired. I post a lot. Sometimes, oh no, not that one. No, not that one either. Not that one. Where is that? Oh boy. I'm gonna know. Hey, but I do like this one now that I'm saying it, just because I'm gonna skip it right now. But it says we gotta stop questioning why our path is so hard, and start understanding that we ain't got no average destiny to fulfill, right? So, but going in for the kill, I didn't. Let me see. I thought I had it from her, but maybe I didn't. There it already. Imagined it. I don't know. I'm tired. But this too, look at it. I just seen this post on her. Can someone very gently explain everything to me? We're in this more gentle phase of operation. There's not a harsh environment anymore because we're not walking through that door, right? We're activated from our most highest potential. That's not folklore. This is reality. This is new, though. It's a new stream of energy that is creating, right? Um, creating. Now I forgot what I was even looking for. But I know that if I see it, I'll know. Right? Anyways, I don't fucking know. Lost it. Don't even know what I was going to say anymore. So tired. Right? Like even that being present is just micro dosing reality, eternity. Anyways, I can't find it. I lost it. I don't even know what the hell I was gonna say and stuff like that. But let's get back to this too. And I guess it'll recharge and stuff like that, or whatever. But right. So consciousness begins to shift and they begin entering the galactic community from a place of respect and with vision of the unified whole of creation rather than individual planets or species, right? This part is very important because Earth has just begun making its first tiny steps towards species maturity like the Lyrian forefathers. So there's like applied practice, applied science, applied wisdom, right, being put into existence through your act, through your evolution that is much needed at this time, right? So one of the most essential aspects of expressing this maturity is the ability to see oneself clearly, right? See the negative as well as the positive and embrace it all as a valuable growth lesson. It requires maturity to see the things that need to be changed about yourself and then implement those sometimes painful changes in order to experience a rebirth, right? At this time in Earth's development, this ability of self-observance is crucial for both the human species as a whole and for individuals. Without this honest self-evaluation, neither a species nor a person can fully transform, period. The end, right? Two, so please do note that I know how I am and stuff like that when the human and spirit like go back and forth. I do use the description box like a freestyle writer scribe diary. So even if you see the video and there is nothing in the description box, like right now when I upload this, I'm going to sleep. I'm not ready shit until I wake up, right? Always check back because there's manna in there for you too. You know what I'm saying? So this is self-observance, right? At this time in Earth's development, this ability of self-observance is crucial for both the human species as a whole and for individuals. Without this honest self-evaluation, neither species nor a person can fully transform, right? 89, open contact. Right, so this part has to do with meeting others, stepping onto common ground into the unknown and making connection with a new entity or consciousness. It means facing your fears in order to do this, but experiencing transformation in the process. The future Pleiadians are committed to mentoring humans in this contact process, and their energy is here to assist you. I'm just a messenger, bro. I'm just a conduit, an opening channel that allows the flow, gasmic, to be anticlimactic and orgasmic in a very good way. Okay, let's go. The future Pleiadians are committed to mentoring humans in this contact process, and their energy is here to assist you, as you can see. It is also likely, my mom used to go to the Palladium a lot. It is also likely that this Palladian energy is a future life of yours, reaching out through time to support you, or it could be a new channeling experience. Either way, it is time to open yourself to contact. So, for example, like what I was saying, I'm being open to the new part of you that is being experienced too from this new perspective, new space, and taking the steps to do that, which you must, right? But also being aware and observant and obsessed with your own understanding process, right? So, right, it's time. Either way, it's time to open yourself up to more contact, more growth, more infinite potential, right? It's like a leveling up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. Right, so this card connects with an involved time stream of the Palladian civilization, in which they are focused on building relationships with other species. In the case of Earth, they are committed to preparing for the contact process and have been engaged in a contact program with humans for nearly a century. This is a natural part of the evolution of a planet. Earth will soon be entering the galactic community and is now being prepared. If this card came up in your reading, it may have many meanings depending on your circumstances. Perhaps you are well aware of your interest in the experiences of EP contact, right? If that is the case, this card is acknowledging that part of your commitment in this life. It may also be acknowledging a connection you have with specific Palladian or other beings. If this is not the case for you, this contact card may instead be referring to a different kind of contact you are now experiencing. What? Right? Perhaps with your higher self or with spirit guides, right? So yeah, oh my gosh, which is bringing up another incident where I called out someone's grandma and didn't even know that either. Like it's just crazy. So like, you know, the development of over time of whatever it is that's been calling out to you for some time, is here. Right, so in this way. It may also be acknowledging a connection. All right, if this is not the case for you, this contact card may instead be referring to a different kind of contact you are now experiencing, perhaps with your higher self or spirit guide. It may also be referring to opening contact with a previously hidden part of yourself. If you are unaware of this, start paying attention to the subtle cues around you. Quiet your mind and open yourself to guidance from the universe. Let yourself embrace an other, and let that experience assist you in the realization that it's only a reflection of you. I love that. I'm going to end that right there too. Open contact. 8-8 portal, right? So it's an open contact, right? Open contact. Self-observance. Courageousness. Desperation. Right? So, yeah. So thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in. Play that back. You can always slow it down. There's a function for that here. I don't know how to do it. I've never done it. I heard about it through YouTube grapevine. I never tried it, but if I talk too fast for you, there is a function, I believe, that allows you to slow down the speed in that which I see. You know what I mean? So I heard. I heard it through the grapevine that she was also fine. Somebody thinks you're also fine. Also fine. Oh, before we go, we'll do some fun stuff too, because we did some evolutionary, okay? But let's speak some truth. Let me speak about you, okay, and what you do and who you are. You're the spark, the renewal, the action that's needed, the balance that is here to happen for you, the action that you take, right? To complete that which you are doing. Wait, this is okay. Who are you? You are telepathy, right? Your gift of telepathy is strong with the ability to read minds. Ooh, I love it. Project thoughts into the minds of others and understand your own body and mind as well as others. Sexual healer. Oh, I got stories for you. Okay, they're coming out too, but I think I'm gonna make that for the subscription crew, but not maybe not that subscription at that rate. This is deep. Okay, so you have the capacity to become a sexual healer, especially if you're here. Especially if you are here, you have a, whether you're male or female, this has nothing to do with gender specific. It's about your sexuality and your evolution of your own comfortability and knowing ability and seduction factor too, and just so much into all of it. They with the skills to change sexual trauma, wounding limitation that goes on in people's bodies and in their world, right? Discernment, right? You have the ability to discern, right? You're very particular about the type of person you let in. You've learned that over time, right? Or if not, you're learning that at this time. And you're being protective of yourself. Others feel they must approach you right, which makes it hard to fool you. You might come to me straight. Don't come to me sideways. I'll pull you out real quick on that sideways shit. I'm like, why are you sideways for? Well, get the pica. Self-love. Right? We got self-love up in here. You advocate a healthy lifestyle, taking good care of your body, mind, and spirit, teaching others to give love back to themselves. Yeah, that's what we do. The dead want to speak to you, right? You can communicate with the dead. It could be in the form of inner sensing, seeing, or hearing, right? A lot of things I feel coming out that want you to know that they want you to acknowledge what you know. Self-love, right? This is the wild part too. So, right, you are unpredictable and your qualities are uncertain. You can't be held down. Nobody knows what to expect from you, not even you, a jack of all trades, right? But you be able to sophisticate wild card. You have a higher understanding of sex and sexuality. It's authentic and empowering, often having a shocking effect on people and provoking insecurity in others, right? Sorry, not sorry, right? Right, crystal child. Okay. So you're here to help uplift the planets of harsh energy, bringing forth healing and peace, and also assist humanity in soul growth and evolution. If you're here, definitely fuck yeah, right? Young at heart, right? Right. The youthful energy in your eyes reveals a fun hidden treasure, allowing others to explore their own inner child. Yes. Mind power. Okay. You're a higher level soul with a mission to create transformation in people's minds so their emotions can come into balance. Hypnotic. Right? There's an intensity in your face, like staring into a tiger's eyes, primal energies with a whisper of chaos and passion, producing a sense of excitement in others, right? You excite others, past lives. Here we go. Right? Regal, seductive, and just a bit of dangerous with Cleopatra energy so strong you intimidate your prey, a very strong connection to Egypt, right? Because you are heartbreaker, dream maker, I don't know the word. You easily inspire romantic feelings in others because of your kind and sweet approach, making you a heartbreaker, right? Because everybody want to be with you. Everybody want to be with you. Everybody sees you as a soulmate because you are a good, judging person. And it has nothing to do with being a good person. It's the energy of wherever you are in your development that people are attracted and drawn to, right? You have the ability to step out of the past and let go of old energy to step into the new with ease. We thrive on change, right? So here we go. That's the sun. I feel the pool like, I don't thrive on change. Like, what do you mean? I had a hard time with this. I heard you. We love you. That one wasn't for you. Okay, rebellion. This one could be for you, okay? Rebellion. Your rebellious mind is a force that is able to remove the smoke screens which cloud the mind. Someone who follows their own path, not that which is popular. Good, good. Me too. Undecided, but you undecided. In this lifetime, you were given the opportunity to fully explore your options to prepare you for the next. As a result, you may experience many new adventures. Exciting, especially if you hear that be true. Sexual healer coming up again, right? So knowing, you have that knowing ability, right? So you have the ability to connect on a deeper level with people and talk in ways they feel hurt. Being able to penetrate their veil often leads to people feeling vulnerable. Right? Let's see what else we got going. There we go. I'm tight. Hey, but I want to thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in. If you have watched up until this point, especially if you have watched up to this point, I hope you have liked this video. I hope you subscribe to my channel too. You can drop a hi and you can say hi. You can go over to Instagram too at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS. You can also go to witchyutopian.com. It's a mother and daughter online metaphysical shop for all your products and services that you seek. You can go check that out at witchyutopian.com. You know what I mean? Enchantress the Babbler here on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor as well. And on TikTok, I am Utopian Cupcakes because I am delicious. That's why. Right? So we are magically delicious up in here. Up in here, up in here. I am so sick of my damn past the first out, right? So right, so people might be spying on you, looking at what you're doing, like what you doing, what you doing, oh my god, let me see what that looks like. So you got some growth happening for you this summer, and I love it. And it's bringing the karma, the balance, the justice that is needed, and this renewal spark energy that is happening for you right now as you take action, build courage, right? As you are inspired, this expansion energy, that's that Jupiter energy, that's the beginning energy, right? Here for something new that you're building for you and that you want for you. This portal 2 of this 8-8, right, is great energy, right? This power dynamic of creation, integration, this union, this sensation, a new relationship, or a renewal of one and two, right? The cycles that are completing for yourself, and this change, this transformation in every kind of way, this transcendence, this unity happening for you at this moment in time, bringing forth, right, something unexpected. Storms. Don't be triggered by a word such as storm. A storm can be an outpouring of love too, right? And devotion and stuff like that, or even too for some, like getting over certain kind of rejections, loss, right? Fragmented in that kind of storm. So for those of you that are still stuck in the storm of sorrow, of victimization, of rejection, or feeling rejected in some kind of way, right? You've got an ace coming up for you right now, so things take time. So this is like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn kind of energy here too, and someone might be detached or cold towards you and stuff like that. So there might be this terminating triggers that might be taking place, right? From stemming from the past, lack and suffering and stuff like that. So you gotta get out of your own way, right? So that energy came in and slipped away the union, transcendence that was also happening here, because this is a mixed cloud energy too. So don't take everything and say, oh, that's for me too. Like process, all right, about what's going on. Right? Remember, awaken, right? You don't have to suffer. You don't have to be in lack. You don't have to feel that way, but you have to start to work on this. And so there's a rebirth for you happening in winter too, by all the stuff that you do here in summer about whatever you're doing that has you feeling this way. So why do you feel rejected, right? And how can you transcend and how can you unify that which you have, right? So you gotta address the toxicity, right? The patterns, the behaviors, the bounding, the mindset, the thought, right? Right. So what cycles that need to change, the transformation, right? So Mercury, so there's a lot of I think Mercury and Virgo or some kind of stuff. The detailing of our conversations, even towards ourselves and travel too, a message coming in. About what? Let's choose one more. I swear I'm going to say one more. Bedroom, sexual fulfillment. We're ending it here. Okay. Intimacy. So there is a message coming through for some of you here in regards to someone wanting to fulfill or get closer to you, communicate how they feel about you, work with you, right? Some kind of master too. It could be mastery, it could be like some kind of surrendering vulnerability, right? Truth, justice coming in for the two, right? And it's changing the direction and it's taking a risk. And this person might be taking a risk coming towards you, but your soulmate, right? And this union, this courtship, this friendship, right? That here, like within 1 to 3 months, there's a major transformation happening in the development of your position, your balance, your compassion, right? Your the water too. So this could be like Aquarius energy as well, right? Person of Earth, Aquarius Earth energy. That could be like Aquarius Capricorn type energy too, right? The provider, the caregiver, someone coming to you, right? Grounded, secure. You may have been stubborn too, but coming in their fields as well, right? Launching, ready, aim, fire, launching, right? Launching to you, finding their way to you. Okay, we're ending it here, and right, so the universe, infinite, unending too, as well. Like, all that is creative force, law of one, working better, having some more fun too. All right, there you go. All right, bye bye. Thank you. Till next time.